We'll give it a couple more minutes. It's probably going to be kind of a quiet crowd because it's the 4th of July and everybody's looking for a reason to start celebrating early, which I don't blame them. But we don't do that here. We take no prisoners. We work. So let's see what we got here. How do I go to gallery view?
We are independent from all the restraints of the normal world. We get to.
That's exactly right. And this is fun stuff. This isn't work. This is fun. Imogene and Gary Brooks and Elizabeth and Mary and Ralph and Karen. And yeah, this is what it's all about, man. Let's have some fun. This is it. You saw my quote. In my old life, I'd be, this is the 3rd. I would be going to buy a 5th to drink on the 4th. So this is pretty cool. This is different.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So we're almost there. Ralph Nichols, you're a beautiful man. So let me see where we are here, 4:32.
I'm going to mute everybody as they're joining in, so hang on. There you go. You are good to go. And we're recording.
Okay, good. Here we go, everybody. Welcome aboard. This is the Zoom. Welcome to the 4th of July. It's Independence Day. And Independence Day means that you're going to get independent. And, this country, even though it's something about our country, the whole holiday, I want you to think about your own independence. I want to think about how you generate that. I want to talk to you about your life not owning you, you owning your life and doing what you're passionate about instead of people determining your passion, which is never that fun. And every one of us are in that boat at one point or another where we're into situations where we don't want to do what we don't want to do and people are trying to foist their agenda upon us. I don't believe that there's better freedom on the planet than in network marketing. I don't believe it at all. I had dinner last night with a bunch of women from the Philippines, and they're in some goofy salad deal. It's called Salad Master. It's been around since 1946. They were, in fact, we're going to play Let's Call Somebody in a few minutes here, and we'll probably give them a call because after the dinner, and I never talked about longevity one time. By the time, and all through the conversation, they were asking are we open in Philippines? I go, yeah, we're just opening up. And they're asking questions like crazy. Every time they ask me something about longevity, I diverted away because my interview was not complete with those women. And it's the most important part. If your interview is not complete, you don't know what they want. You don't know how to get them there from here. And even though they may sign up on the spot, it's still not going to do you any good because you don't know enough about them. But once you know enough about them, like a Pamela Schwartz, I know Pamela Schwartz's blood type. And as a result of that, it's because I completed the interview with her. That's that simple. And I want you to think about that a little bit. With your leaders especially, not necessarily your prospects yet. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. Have you ever gone back to the people that you perceive to be the leaders in your organization and really re-interviewed them to find out what they're really up to and what they really want out of their life? Where you called it on yourself and you say, I brought you into this business a couple of years ago. And I was going broke enthusiastically and I was taking other people with me. And I finally learned that I'm doing this business the wrong way. And I've got to figure out if you really want to make a living at this, if you just want to get your products for free, if it's important to you, and if you've got a big why and a big drive to build this thing, I want to partner with you. I want to jump in the foxhole with you. And I'm committed that I'm going to stay one step ahead of you until you get to where you want to go in your life. And people are going to hear that out of you, and they're going to go crazy, and they're going to believe you. And that's what I want for each and every one of you, is that kind of relationship. And I don't care how you're building your business, but it revolves around what's going on in 65 days in a wake up. You may resist that till the day you die, that it's for somebody else. It's not for you. But the more I see what's going on with the contact mapping app, what's going on with the coffee shop interview, what's going on with people being so scared to death of their future, it's unbelievable. So I was talking about the Philippines people, and it was pretty crazy because inside of the Philippine people, they were talking about the women leaving the Philippines to go out and make a living so they can send money back to the husband and the kids. And I pointed out to them last night that I would love to be their mentor because I believe they could change the Philippines, because there's a ton of people in the Philippines. A lot of them have money, and maybe they could sell the vitamins and minerals to those people in the Philippines. And when they did it, they would be getting paid American wages, our commission plan, sending that money back to the Philippines, and those people would literally be rich. And then you can, I mean, think about that all over the world. You've got that kind of ability to affect change on a global basis with people, and maybe, just maybe, that's what you want to do. You can do that. They don't have to leave. They don't have to go to Malaysia. I'll never forget, we went to Malaysia and all those people were there, and it was 13 Filipino women. They were all living in one house. They signed 3-year contracts. They left their family for 3 years to make minimum wage in Malaysia to send money back to their families. That is truly criminal. And I don't want that to happen to anybody on this planet. That's the opportunity that we've got. So then you start thinking about the United States of America. And you know, you look at Luis Arias' organization, and those people have got, I mean, a lot of the transactions are in cash. A lot of the people haven't even got the documentation to be working, yet they're working their fingers to the bone. And the reason they're working their fingers to the bone in longevity is because it's their only shot. They burn the bridges behind them. They got no other way for them to ever get the American dream. What if we started thinking that way? What if every one of us looked at it like that? Like it was that dead serious? Like we read GoPro inside and out? Like we learn longevity in a university inside and out? We learn 65 days in a wake up inside and out. We're going in there and we're interviewing people every day. We're commenting every day on other people's interviews. We're following up with our people. We're documenting. We're using the contact mapping app. And we're actually becoming better human beings and changing the world. Wouldn't that feel good? Because when you change the world in longevity, you change your own world first. That's what's so beautiful about this. I am thrilled to death I'm changing the world. I am thrilled to death I'm changing the world in longevity. But I'm really thrilled to death that it's really changed my family situation too. And that's what each and every one of you have at your fingertips if you'll just believe in yourself at that level. So what do? You go to the contact mapping app, you download it, you put it on your phone, and you start interviewing and you start documenting. If you go to contactmapping.com, you've got the copy shop interview right there in front of you. It's generic, you can learn it inside and out, and you can have it fit for longevity. And you can have it fit for what we're doing here. You people are ground zero. You are the most important people in the world to me. I want to train and develop you. The systems of the Longevity University are there in place. They're getting better. Alex Tice is coming in here at noon on Thursday to go over creating a tremendous back office presentation for you, where you guys are able to give this thing in a living room or in a coffee shop or in the front of the room, where you're giving a presentation that moves and inspires people to come into your business. That's what I want for you. I want that physical video. I want a video for you. I want a PowerPoint presentation for you that does the enrollment for you. But you still have to be there with that relationship in order to make that happen. That's what I want. That's what we're going to accomplish here. Let me go see what's going on in the comments. They're popping up like crazy. Okay. Yeah, and Elizabeth got on here, and that's really, really cool. I know she spent a lot of time on the phone with Denise. And you know what? Nobody should have handcuffs on you. Nobody. Not handcuffs, physical or psychological handcuffs. There is nothing stopping you. I was a dead drunk alcoholic laying in the street. I didn't think I was going to live to be 40 years old. I had an exit plan prior to that because I thought I was going to drink myself to death. I was penniless. I didn't have a dollar to my name. Somebody gave me a car to drive, and the next day they came to me and said, Tom, I talked to my accountant and I have to charge you $1 for this 1981 Subaru. And the first thought that went through Tom Chenault's head was, where am I going to get a buck? Where am I going to get a buck? That's how far down I was. But they knocked me down. The world knocked me down. I knocked my world down with those alcohol and all the jazz I did. But you know what? They didn't kill the fire in my eyes. They didn't kill the fact that I knew I could come out of it. And I'm not going to let you come out of it. I'm not going to give up on any one of you human beings on this call. Not on you, Bobby Knight. Not on you, Deb Hall. Not on you, Barbara Stallings. Not on you, Devin Suggs. Not on you, Elizabeth. Not on you, Imogene. Not on you, Gary Brooks. Not on you, Jackie Walker. Not on you, Jerry Aitken. Not on you, John and Joanne. Not on you, Karen. Not on you, Kelsey Britton. Not on you, Lanny Sharp. I'm sorry I got your age wrong. Not on you, Linda Tyler. Not on you, Mark. Not on you, Mary. Not on you, Patrick. Not on you, Ralph. Not on you, Peggy. Not on you, Rosie. Not on you, Sharon. Not on you, Vincent. Not on you, Nelson. And not on you, Robert Estes. I'm not giving up on any of you. Ever. I know you can do this because I did it. I'm not asking you to do anything that I didn't do myself. I fought through it with far less tools than you've got. I fought through it without a big moose like me pulling me. You can do this, Pamela Schwartz. Every one of you can do this, but you have to believe you can do this. You have to have this thought. I am a multimillionaire. I just haven't got the money yet. I'm going to change the world. I've got the vehicle to do it. I need to believe in myself at that core level like I've never believed in myself before. That's how we get there from here. And it's who nobody's telling you it's going to be easy. But you know what? It's going to be worth it. And this is the best kind of hard. You're not digging ditches. You're not getting yelled at by a boss. You're not getting disrespected. You're not getting any of that. All you're getting is rejected once in a while because somebody didn't want to buy your pitch because where they were in their life, they couldn't hear it right now. That meant nothing. That means nothing. You just be nice to them so they remember you when they're finally ready for what you've got to sell them. Unbelievable. And you got to have that gift of desperation. Gift of desperation number one for me was quitting drinking. I was at the end of the rope. I had no place to turn. I said, God, help me be sober. God put his hand on my shoulder and gave me the gift of desperation to be able to sober up. That's what happened. End of the story. Hang on one second. I want to let you guys, gift of desperation number two was when I was an unbelievable stockbroker, making all this money. And all of a sudden I sobered up and I couldn't live that lie as a stockbroker anymore. And nothing worked out. Nothing made me money. And I'm driving down the road and I'm going, what am I going to do? And no one will hire me. Taco Bell wouldn't even hire me. I tried to get a job as a waiter on the railroad. You know, the guy, and I weighed so much money that they were afraid I wouldn't go through. I weighed so much weight that they were afraid I probably wouldn't fit in the aisles, and they didn't hire me, even though I had all that restaurant experience. It was horrible. And I opened up a newspaper, and there was that ad that fell out that said unlimited income opportunity. I go, holy cow, what's that? It's better than Taco Bell. And then it said something else. It said no credit check. I went, wow. And then it said no background check. I said, wow. I called the guy on the phone. He said it was network marketing. As a stockbroker, I swore never, ever will I do network marketing. If somebody were to ask me, you're going to live on the moon or you're going to be a network marketer, I would have told you what's the weather like on Mars, on the moon. But guess what? I got the gift of desperation. And I grabbed that rope God handed me called network marketing. And guess what? It worked out because God's plan is always better than my plan. And 4 months ago, I had a gift of desperation. Bob Phillips, my best friend, one of my best friends died of a heart attack. At the same time, I got all kinds of bad health news. And they told me that I was going to die. And they told me I was going to leave my grandkids. And I had to change my life. They said they said you cannot out supplement a bad diet. And I guarantee you, I did not want to hear that. And I said, what do? I want to live. And they said, what you need to do is give up gluten. You need to give up grains. You need to give up sugar. And I said, that's impossible. They said, you're going to do it or you're going to die. Which would you rather have? The gluten, the grains, or the sugar, or your grandchildren? I said, I'll take them. You can't hear it. 120 days into it, that's the heart surgeon, the top flight, Dr. Ike, gave me this cardiologist. They sent me in for something called a nuclear stress test on my heart after I've been doing no glutens, no sugar, nothing for the last 90 days, taking all of Sanjeev Javia's and Dr. Lundell's stuff. And guess what? He just told me that I have, instead of a certain heart attack on the horizon, I have a 1% chance per year for the next 10 years of having a heart attack, because I listened to what these doctors said. I listened to Dr. Wallach. I listened to, thank you, Barbara. I listened to Dr. Lundell. I listened to Sanjeev Javia. I listened to Dr. Ike. And they completely reversed it all in 120 days. Why? God. Why? Wallach. Why? The gift of desperation. Why? I didn't want to die. It was worth everything for me to do it their way. That's what it is for each one of you. Worth everything. Everything. So here it is. God's plan is unfathomable. So much better than we can ever imagine. From my beautiful friend Kelsey Britton. But how bad does it have to get? How bad? And they say that. When is your pain going to be bigger than your pride? That's when it tips. When your pain is bigger than your pride. And then all of a sudden, everything shifts. And it's that simple. Pamela, tell a joke while I go find an iPhone battery.
All right, I was just going to say, if you really want to know how well this works, go get your blood drawn, like Tom's talking about. Have a healthcare professional that's going to tell you exactly what's going on in your body. If you don't think you see it on the outside, you will be shocked. I'll tell you what, my husband Andy had a thing called polycythemia. He had grandparents dying on both sides of his family from heart attack and stroke. He no longer has polycythemia. And I'm not going to say that one thing or another is what changed his life, but what he will say, Mr. Skeptic himself, who's been a cop his entire life, who doubts everything and everybody, he said, I don't know what it is that's in this stuff, but it works. So I'm going to keep taking it. And he's got picture perfect blood work. So you want to find that testimony that's going to be a physical testimony that you have. You want to find a testimony that is a financial testimony that you can have. And what you need to do is, if you don't have one yourself, then borrow it from the experts, borrow it from your team, get connected, start to share it. That's what those three-way calls are good for. That's why they work when you're building through contact mapping to get to know them. Find out what wakes them up at 2 o'clock in the morning. Find a person that is going to connect with them. And when you get them together, watch the magic happen.
And every one of you can do this. There isn't one person on here that hasn't got that game. Not one person. I don't care if it's Verna Robbins. I don't care if it's Kim Hawley. I don't care if it's Sharon Rennick. I don't care whom it is. I promise you, there is not one person on this call that can't do this. And then I watch Hanny learn from Peggy to find herself now down with an organization and a half exploding down in the Philippines. Why is that happening? Because of duplication. Passion went to passion, went to passion. Training went to training, went to training. All of a sudden, you're creating duplication because people are singing out of the same hymn book. That's what we want. I want that for each and every one of you. And when in 65 and a wake up, I love it because every one of us have down days. You guys don't know it. There's days that I feel like quitting. So I know how you're feeling. Things happen. Stuff comes up. But do you know what? Things happen. Stuff comes up. It isn't that everybody, every one of us. I'm telling you, Brene Brown hit the nail on the head. She says, if you'll take the time to listen, every human being that you meet has a story that will bring you to your knees. You've got a story that's going to bring me to my knees. Pamela has a story. Big story of how she met her husband and that night that would bring me to my knees, and more stories I don't even know. You think she's got all this stuff going on for her. I'm telling you what, you get to know Pamela, she's as human as you are. You get to know Mary Nichols, she's as human as you are. You get to know Gary Brooks, he's as human as you are. The name of the game is get past that fine, get past that soundbite, and get deep with people and find out who they are, what makes them tick, and what you can do for them to make their life better. Every morning I call Steve Wallach, and every conversation, I know he gets sick of it because every conversation ends the same. Steve, what can I do to make your life better? Because that guy lives his life making our life better. And I don't want to be that guy that's always taken from Steve Wallach. I want to be the giver. I want to be the giver to Barbara Stallings. I want to be the giver to John and Joanne Johnston. I want to be that giver in life. Don't you want to be that? If it's worked for me, if it's made me what you guys consider to be rich, Donald Trump and Malcolm Forbes and Richard Branson would say I'm poor. It's all perspective. But at the end of the day, what made me rich was contact mapping, was getting human to human with people and forgetting the transaction. If you can forget the transaction and become a Lorene Williamson, everything changes. No, the three-way call, Elizabeth, is not for the products unless you're going to get a doctor on the call. Because if you get just your friend Lucy on the call, she's probably going to be making a health claim on that three-way product call. So use the tools. Use all the tools on that. When you sign somebody up in the business, they do longevity. Yeah. What do you do to have them learn? I want them to go to 65 days and a wake up. I want them to go in there and start watching the people that are getting through it. I want you to live your life vicariously for a while through Barbara Stallings and Pamela Schwartz and Sharon Reineck and Lorene Williamson and Lanny Sharp. I'm Kelsey Britton. I'm just looking for people that have been 65. Hanny, Peggy Gleason. I want you to look at what they said and find somebody on here you relate to. Look at them. And then go into 65 and a wake up and Google Peggy Gleason. Right there, just in the search bar, put Peggy Gleason, and all of her interviews line up. You got them all, and you can just see what she did. And I know you're going to use me because you're going, if Tom Chenault can do it, he is a dope. There is no way in the world if Tom Chenault can do it, I can't do it. I want to be that. I don't want to be all hip, slick, and cool. Vincent, turn your camera off. Anyway, at the end of the day, maybe you can. Hang on a second. Don't move. I want to just do something real quick. You did good. At the end of the day, you people have the chance to increase the way that you relate to people at a level you can't believe. Tomorrow you're going to the 4th of July. All your friends and family are going to be there. You're going to be all hooked up about the cardio beats, and you're going to think you have to tell everybody at that 4th of July party about the cardio beats. I am begging you not to do that. Ask about their life. Find out what they want out of their life. Find out how you can contribute to their life. Find out. Don't pitch. Don't sell. Don't share. Just love. If you can do that, you win. Every one of us, we win. I am 100% right. I promise you, Joanne and John Johnston, you are such spiritual, great Christians. And you know that when you're out there trying to have people accept Jesus in their life, which you guys live for more than anything under the sun, the fastest way to have those people not accept Jesus is you to run in there like a born-again Christian and go crazy on them. You've got to love them. It's got to be attraction rather than promotion. Sooner or later, they're going to say, I want what Joanne and John have. What is it that's different about them, that's different about me? All of a sudden, they're going to see Jesus and they're going to find you. At the same thing, it's just like that with everything going on in your life, you guys. Be attraction, not promotion. I promise you, it will work for you. And, everybody, I listened to Elizabeth talking to Denise the other day, and a few others of you saying, well, my upline doesn't believe in 65 days and a wake up. People came in and they didn't become 5 stars after they got done. No, they didn't. But they became unbelievable human beings, not afraid to talk to other human beings about what it is to be a human being. And at the end of the day, they developed the relationships. And they had all those things stored in Trello, but which is now the contact mapping app. And all of a sudden now they're able to follow up with 10 touches until they get to the point that there's a three-way call involved. And the reason I push so hard on the three-way calls, and you wonder why I push you so hard on the three-way calls, is because I know you don't want to do them. I know you have no interest in doing them. I know you're scared to death to do them, Barbara Stallings. And that's why you avoid the question like the plague, you little angel. And you think you're pulling it over on me with all those books behind you and your beautiful hair and your gorgeous glasses and your beautiful turquoise shirt. But guess what? You aren't fooling anybody. You don't believe me on these three-way calls more than the man in the moon. You're afraid I'm going to totally run your friends and neighbors out the door, never to talk to you again. And I promise you, if you send me their interview and you let me talk to your friends are going to like you better because they're going to know you gave a darn about them. And you, I love that thumb up in the air. Yes, that's it. This works, you crazy people. I promise you, it works. Kelsey Britton, I know. I use more tools than wait a second, confession. I use more tools than three-way calls. Yeah, yes you do. I know you do. I know you do. I know you all do. It's a cop out. Trust me, I'm a doctor. I know it. I promise you. I promise you. It's an avoidance. It is avoiding the deep water where the alligators are because you're so afraid to get bit by the alligator. And I don't blame you. I'm even afraid to get bit by the alligator. But I learned how to do it. I learned how to trust the process. And I use Steve Wallach. I use everybody. I use Denise. I use people in AA. I use that third-party credibility, that third-party expert like it's going out of style. Because right now, you don't believe me. You don't believe me. I need a three-way call to tell you. I need somebody that really understands three-way calls like Eric Worre or somebody to come on here to say, he'll tell you, and you're going to believe him. You're so used to me popping out that you don't believe a word I say. It's just more of the same. It's more tom, tall tales. Three-way calls don't work. Here's what works. Three-way calls and building toward events. Those are the things that work. That's what made Deb Hull so successful. She's got Dr. Wallach out there. She's got events going all the time. She builds toward them. She does three-way calls. She's amazing. And that's where the success comes from. And most of us are going, God, I'm not successful. Why am I not successful? And I am going to tell you, okay. You guys want to play Let's Call Somebody? Okay, so what I use are names that flit through my brain. So I'm going to tell you an amazing story. You guys want to hear an amazing story? Many years ago, about 2010, so in 2008, so that was 10 years ago, I'm a hotshot in another company. And I win a car called a Lexus 600 Hybrid, which is a very expensive Lexus. And I had to have a red one per the rules of the contest. So you can't find a red one. So all of a sudden, a place called Cooney Lexus called me on the phone and said, we've got a car. And Cooney Lexus is about 75 miles away from here. So I hopped on my horse and I headed down to Littleton, Colorado. Now, everywhere I go, I look for friends in those towns to go visit while I'm visiting. So I have a friend named Cal Murab. And if you look at my Facebook post yesterday, there was a guy in the middle named Cal Murab. And Cal Murab is a Lebanese prince. And as a result of that, he looks like Mr. T. When you see the picture of him on Facebook, you're going to go crazy. He's got this great big face, and he's got this big jewelry on all the time. And he just is disgusting looking, and he's got this big, long ponytail, and he owns about $40 million worth of real estate. And he always wants me to meet him at the bar, because in those days, I was a semi-famous radio talk show host. So everybody knew me as a result of this daily show I had called Business for Breakfast where I look down on the stock market like the football field. So he loved me in the bars with him because he knew I was happily married. He knew I didn't drink, and I was a great wingman for him. So he says, let's meet at this bar. So I said, let's go. So I get down to the bar. I walk in the door, and there is a guy named Marzell Fairman there. I've never seen him in my life. Cal screams, Tom's here. Meet Marzell, Tom. And I meet Marzell. Marzell walks across the room. He's a very good-looking guy. He puts his hand out. He said, Marzell. I go, Marzell, Tom Chanel, nice to meet you. So I'm doing the coffee shop interview, which I always did. I go, what do you do, Marzell? Marzell said, I am an Allstate insurance salesman. I said, really? My brother John is a farmer's agent, because I was looking for relatedness, right? Marzell immediately, his eyes glazed over. He turned around, walked the other direction, and was gone. And I go, what the heck was that? But because I'm such a shy guy, I chased him. I grabbed him. I said, Marzell, what was that all about? And Marzell said, what all about, Tom? I said, why'd you do that? He goes, what, man? I go, you realized that because my brother was a farmer's insurance agent, I would never have you on the radio because he was competition to you. And you realized in that moment that I would never buy insurance from you because I'd be buying it from my brother. So I was no longer a prospect for you. I was no longer interesting, and I was no longer any good to you, right? He's going, no, man. I said, do you know anybody that works at Cooney Lexus? And he said, oh, yeah, I got a buddy that works there. I said, I'm in town to buy a $136,000 car. Had you stuck around long enough and said, hey, Tom, what are you doing in town? I would have said, I'm going to Cooney Lexus. You would have said, I know a guy. I would have said, great. We'd have been talking a couple more seconds. You would have run off and gone into the back room, called your friend, said, I'm sending you a buyer. How much money do I make? And the rest would have been history, right? Does that make sense to everybody? Is this a boring story? So that's contact mapping. That's contact mapping. That's, you never know. You guys are so one-dimensional on your conversations with people that all you think about is whether or not you look at everybody like a damn prospect. I hate multi-level marketing. Okay, you're out of my life. I'm in another, you're out of my life. You don't get to the human being because you're too busy pre-qualifying and going to the next person instead of going deeper. So who are we going to call right now? I've talked to him twice in my life. Who we calling? Come on, somebody tell me who we're calling in the comments. Come on. Who we calling? Who are we calling? Marzell. Yes, we're going to call Marzell. And we're going to terrorize him right now. And I have no idea what's going to happen with this call. This is a cold call. This fit for you guys? Or is this boring? But his name flipped into my brain. And as a result, we dial. I've got two numbers. One of them is going to be good. 2-3 years, Sharon. That one didn't work. Come on. Hang on a second. They both hung up. That means something's wrong with my phone. Don't move. I don't need you, Adrian. I don't need you. I can't figure out why my phone's not working. I don't need you. That is so weird. He might have me on a, no, he might have, no, there's no way he's got me blocked. I talked to him on the phone. I told him the story one day about 5 years ago. I said, I'm developing this app based around you. And do you mind if I tell that story? And he said, fine. And that was the last time I talked to him. But I did interview him. I do know what he's doing. I do know he's still selling insurance. Stay with me. He's selling American Family Insurance now. He's still doing it. He lives in Littleton still. And that's about all I know. Terrible contact mapper. I should have put more than that from the last time I talked to him. But the fact of the matter is, I did interview him the last time I talked to him. I told him why I wanted to do it. And he was laughing his fingers off, but he never, ever, ever really engaged with me. I should have followed up more with him, but I'm not afraid to call anybody. That's what I want for you guys, is to be that bulletproof where you're not afraid to call anybody. And when you believe from the bottom of your heart that you can truly change somebody's life having met you, everything's different. So now we're going to call one of those 2 women from the Philippines that I met last night. They're in a deal called Salad Master that was built in 1946. And hang on a second. Fardu was to send to me. Give me 1 second real quick. Give me real quickly. Sorry. Scott's trying to finish his month. He needs a favor. Okay, so I'm trying to find those 2 women that I talked to last night. Give me 1 more second. I'm going to find this lady. There she is. I know this feels like it's taking a long time. And you know why? Because it is. Okay, here we go. This lady I met with last night for the very first time, she's the one I would not keep. I would not. Okay. Come on, Sandy. So this is just a follow-up touch, like you guys do.
Hey, it's Nancy. So I can take your call right now. Just leave a message and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you.
Hey, you little salad master. I am telling you, I had such a good time last night meeting you and your sidekick and your husband, the architect. And all I want to do, you said you couldn't sleep last night, either could I. So now you're going to wake up. You're going to call me after a while. I know you worked all day long, but give me a jingle as soon as you can. I am dying to talk to you. It's Tom Chenault, 720-840-7222. I want you to come down to Longmont. I want you to shadow me for a day. I will change your life. You will be the best salad master distributor on the planet. Can't wait to talk to you. I'll see you before you know it. So that's my goal. My goal is to serve her. If she chooses to join Youngevity, it's even better. If she doesn't, I'm going to make her a better network marketer. I'll lay you nickels to donuts. She'll be a Youngevity distributor. I'll lay you nickels to donuts. And she will recruit herself into the business because she knows I am going someplace. She knows I'm going someplace and she will want to go with me. Do people know that you're going someplace so they want to go with you? I want you to get yourself trained and developed to the point that people know you're going someplace and they can go with you. And you're bet. Yeah, nickels to gluten-free donuts, Kelsey. So that's the name of the game. Every one of us can do this. Lorene Williamson, you are doing a tremendous job. Unmute Lorene for me for a second, will you please? Lorene, what's going on in 65 Days in a Wake Up? You inspired Lanny to start over. You inspired Pat Kendall to start over. You inspired Marianne Niehaus to start over. You are bringing it back. And I just love you. So what's going on? How's it working for you? And talk to me about Tuggle Persetta.
Persetta is doing great. You know, she's a little bit homebound, so the phone work is wonderful for her. She comes out on Thursday mornings and we set up 3-way meetings or coffees or whatever she wants to do on Thursdays because that's our chosen day. So her job is to have me calls that whole day if necessary. It's fun, you know, once you figure it out, it's just great fun. And people love the attention. They love talking about themselves. So, you know, it's great. It gives me a little time off when I don't have to talk so much.
Yeah.
But 65 and a Wake Up has changed my life before now. And because it's an easy recipe to teach, you know, it's all about the other person. So when you take it off of you and realize it's about the other person, you can figure it out. It's that simple. It's nothing, the sales, nothing. It's about helping them get where they want to be and deciding whether they want to do the changes or make the changes to get there.
Yeah, and everyone, and is there a person on this Zoom that can't do it? Lorene.
Yes.
Do you believe there's a person on this Zoom that can't do it?
Oh, absolutely not. I didn't know that was a question for me. That's a joke. If someone tells me they can't do it, my question is why? What if you can nod at people, if you communicate with people at all, you can do this because it's simple. It is so simple. You just ask people, how are you? That is something we do from the South so well. And people love to tell you. You just have to ask them, how you doing?
And you have to listen. You have to listen to those. You guys ask great questions, but you have to listen really, really hard to the answer to those great questions you ask. I want you guys to be better listeners than you are question askers. And I want you to be tremendous question askers, if that makes sense. It's the key to the whole deal. People are so sick.
Yeah, if you'll print off the coffee shop interview and make it, you know, systematic for yourself, you won't have any trouble with not listening because it's just right down the list. And I did have an entire group of people who said, I just can't remember I can't remember the questions. Their fear held them back. So what I did is I told them, I said, go ahead and tell the people in your sphere of influence that you're trying to sharpen your tools. Tell them, write it out. Say, look, you know, I'm working on my memory. I'm working on my abilities. I want to try to get this down to where it's habit forming. So if you don't mind, I'd like to take notes and, you know, thanks for letting me do this. And I'm going to ask you questions I already know. But it's about me hearing you and listening to you and serving you. And it's about me helping others, even if you're not interested, but I'm sure you will be. And then you've got to pull that off. So if you need to take notes, even in front of them. And it has helped Persetta. It's helped Elizabeth because they were struggling with the fear of doing it and not remembering what they said. So
right.
Tell them up front that you're working on that skill, and after 65 days, it will come like running water to you. You won't need notes, and you won't need to wonder. It'll just happen. You'll become Tom Chenault.
Well, that's you want to be Tom Chenault. Like, the last thing you want to be is Tom Chenault. I want every one of you guys to be your absolute extraordinary you. And Robin Tanner said, I love calling people who have had product experiences on the Rev or the Heart product or something like that. I'm not sure about the laws of the FTC, but if one of you called up and said, Tom, I've got a friend of mine who's got all kinds of heart issues going on, and I want you to talk to him about what happened to you, taking Sanjeev's product and the Cardio Beats and the Pro Cardio and all the stuff that I take, I can't imagine how that wouldn't further the conversation with a prospect. I would even count that as a call and three-way call on 65 days in a wake up. I'm not allergic to that conversation. So no, I just don't want you hiding. That's all there is to it. I don't want you hiding. If you are, whatever you're doing, where you are out with human beings and you're not hiding, you're generating your business, I'm all for it. People just hide too much. They're scared to death to pick up the phone. So if that's a way for you to start getting related to people, I want that to happen for sure. So I'm not allergic to that at all, Robin. Anybody else got questions? Anybody got anything they want to, what time is it? I'm not even having, you know what I have to do today? I have to go mow the lawn for the 4th of July party.
Tom, I want to add one thing. I unmuted myself. When someone asks you about the three-way calls or three-way tools, use someone that can answer those questions. If we have a lot of people here in the South that wants to talk about health and wellness and become doctors, and I am breaking that off at the ground. I don't want them getting in trouble. I don't want them getting me in trouble or my company. I want them to share only their personal experience, and that's it. Cut that off. Don't tell them what they should be taking or how they should take it, because now you're becoming a doctor. Find a doctor, find a nurse, find someone in your team or someone else's team that will answer those hard questions and be real about it. Because if you don't, you get in trouble.
Absolutely. Peggy Gleason, you're looking 10 times more healthy than I saw you the last 40 times I've seen you. You look beautiful. Wanted to say that because I can't believe my eyes. How can a woman look more healthy all the time? That's what's going on. I want you to unmute Jennifer Salzman. Ha! You thought I was going to say Peggy. I want you to unmute Jennifer Salzman. Jennifer, did you see my video today?
I know. I was just posting on it. Thank you so much. You've greatly honored me. And you're sweet to make such a nice video for me, and I'm very grateful, and I give God all the glory. But I just want to say that you and Denise and Marianne and this whole group of people have been a great inspiration to me, and I feel very grateful that I got pushed a little and encouraged a little to just jump off and do it, and I am a better person for it. And I just encourage anybody who's on the fence, just when just jump in, because it pushes you and it challenges you, but it's well worth it. So thank you, Tangam. Thank you so much. Anything else you want me to say? Anyone there?
Jennifer, we just want to say, you said you felt like you needed to be pushed, or you needed that little extra encouragement. I just want to tell you that you gracefully flew through this process. The things that you were connecting with, the people, the depth of those connections was just wonderful. And so I hope that all of you, if you have not gone in and taken advantage of 65 days in a wake up, do what Tom said before. Search Jennifer Salzman's name in the search bar at the top of 65 Days in a Wake Up on the Facebook page, and you can find all of the incredible posts that she did and how she worked so hard to make sure that she wasn't making those health claims, to make sure that she was connecting with people on a deeper level. You were phenomenal. Thank you.
And you're tremendous about knowing not to do that. And you are one of the queen product people in the company. But you went out and signed up, enrolled a tremendous amount of business builders as well as product using customers through this 130 people that you had in your system. It worked on all fronts, didn't it, Jennifer?
It did. And actually, if you'll give me just a moment to share a little bit about that process, because it really changed. The way that I talk to people really shifted. And that's the takeaway from what I learned is that, you know, I have people that may be asking me about the health stuff. I didn't let them just stop there. I said to them, you know, before we even get into that, I really would like to get to know who you are. So tell me a little bit about you. And honestly, just when someone says, so tell me about you, you know, that was modeled so beautifully to me from Adrian when I was down at your guys' place in Longmont. You know, he said, so tell me about you. And it just, the way he said it was so much simplicity and ease. It was like, it was very profound. So I've been passing that along. And so if they start talking about, a lot of people will get on, well, you know, I do this for work and I do that for work, but my real passion is I want to help people with their health and their well-being, or I really want to, you know, they start telling me things and I go, and so I have to just stop, and I may not enroll them right away. I say, you know what, well, I think we need to have another conversation, because I would be remiss if I didn't let you know that you might, you know, you sound like an amazing individual that might be really interested in getting involved in our mission. You know, and I don't even really use the word business. I use the word mission. And
I love that.
That's been really helpful for me, particularly when people are coming at me from the health perspective. If I switch too much gears into business, it doesn't necessarily feel very graceful. So I've been talking about, I'm on a mission with Dr. Wallach and my, you know, upline, Ashley James and Dr. Glidden. I'm on a mission with these people, and I'm in this community of people. We're all working together, you know, for the greater good, and people want to get involved in something bigger than themselves. That's where I feel like it shifted for me when I started to not just let them, because I could have enrolled them and got them started on products right away, and I would have missed the whole thing.
Scott Fardulis takes it to such a different level, you know, because when he has a business builder conversation, he completes the enrollment process to this extent. I'm not going to let you sign up as a CEO business builder in my business until you have got Longevity University so dialed in that you're able to teach it. I mean, he takes it that far. And there's a guy named Tim Sales who has done some big stuff in network marketing, but he had a professional inviter series, and he constantly harped on, there is so much more beyond the word yes, and by all means complete the enrollment process. That's the most important part. Even though they said yes to try to shut you up, still go back and get those questions answered so you're able to serve them down the road and get them to where they said they wanted to be versus your agenda where you think they should go. So I love what you said about that. That is truly, truly profound. And you did use a lot of three-way calls. You are going to the convention. You do events. You have done it, kid. And I just want to acknowledge that and thank you for that. How's that grab you? Okay, so next, let me think of what else I wanted to ask you people. What do I want to talk about now? Whether it's Dylan Suggs, Devin Suggs, the kids from San Antonio, who are using the app and using the 65 days in a wake up like crazy all the way through. I mean, we have got this thing covered from 8 to 80. And what we want to do is make you better human beings. That's the name of the game. If you're walking into conversation where your entire goal is leaving people feeling better about themselves than they did when they got there, I can guarantee you one thing right now, you're not burning the bridge. Peggy Gleason talked about the Amway guy that thinks he was happy. You know, Amway people are in love with their company. They live for the weekly meeting and the tape of the month club and spending all that money for the rallies and the tools and the conventions. but very few times do they make money, but they are such a culture, it doesn't bother them. And the reason I say that is because that's a conversation where you've got to love those people in Amway more than the other Amway people love them to recruit them. Because for them, it's far more about the love than it is even the money. And if you can learn that, it will change everything. And me, I meet people, the first thing I say when they're telling me at another company, I say, you've got to learn this coffee shop interview. You've got to learn this contact mapping. You've got to learn from me. I will make you better in Salad Master than you've ever been before. And that's my number one goal, is to make them better in Salad Master than they've ever been before. My number two goal is to have them join me in the longevity when they realize they can't get here from there in Amway or in Salad Master, and they need to join us. But my first agenda is to serve them, if that makes sense to you guys. So that's cool. It's cool. What else? Anybody got anything? There's Adrian. Adrian, you want to speak out? I see you on the, I can't believe it. You got Adrian Pamela?
Hi, everybody. Hey there. Yeah, Jennifer, I want to echo the congratulations on completing your journey. You have been somebody that I think has just become an indispensable part of this community. And I think you really set a great example for how to do this the right way, what it can do for your business, what it can do for you as a human. And Dad just hit on it a second ago. We were actually, the reason that I was kind of late to joining this call is that we had gotten into this brainstorming session right after the radio show today, talking about, what's the 1 minute commercial of what contact mapping is really about. And 65 days in a wake up is such an important, you guys are the foundation of what we have done. And what 65 days in a wake up is really about, just like what contact mapping is really about, is it's about becoming a better human being through learning how to listen better to others and figure out where they want to go and take them there. And if you do that, then you're going to end up where you want to go to, right? And we were on the radio earlier today. Bob Berg talked about an old Zig Ziglar quote that if you can have anything you want in this world if you help enough other people get what they want. And that's what we're trying to do. If you listen well enough, if you take people to where they want to go, and then if you learn how to recognize when somebody's really looking for you and they just didn't realize it yet, then everybody wins all the time. And nobody ever is in a position where they feel rubbed the wrong way, where they feel thrown up on. None of that stuff ever happens. And Jennifer, you're learning how to do that. You're showing us how to do that. And it's really, really exciting. So congratulations.
Thank you, Adrian.
Okay, so somebody said, Tom, are you going to call anybody else today? So apparently you want me to call somebody else today. So I'll call. I just scrolled through my phone. This guy's name is Chad. He's had some tough times. He's in Manatech. And my goal is to have this guy realize that he can't live without me. Here we go.
Please leave your message for 21031.
We have had terrible luck with phones today. Hey, Chad, it's Tom Chenault. Give me a call when you get a chance. 720-840-7222. I'll be available for about 5 more minutes. It is 5:30 on the dot Mountain Time. So we got to maybe he'll see that, because usually his phone rings that way. Okay, now we're calling my CPA, who brought together those 2 women last night. So his wife had told me that she never in a million years had any friends. Nothing, Robert. What about you, buddy?
Well, I got you on the phone here. I don't know what you're calling for, but even though I know Marina was emailing Denise, because this is all stuff that went in her account.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm not calling about that, so I don't even want to talk about that for a minute. Okay, good. Well, I'll call you back in 15 minutes and we'll work on that. Is that a deal?
Tina took the list and she was emailing it. So
Okay.
I don't have it.
Well, then why are you?
For,
Okay, so okay, what's the solution to our problem? If we can't do it, then we can't do it. So why are we even talking about doing it?
Well, I'm just letting you know that Marina's going to get with Denise first. So hopefully Denise remembers what she deposited in her account.
Okay, no problem. She will. Denise writes all that stuff down. Okay, that's boring. Okay.
So what else? What else going on with you?
How did those women, did you hear any more out of those women?
I thought they were calling you. You were calling them.
I did. I left messages for both of them, but they said that they learned more last night than they learned in their entire Salad Master commercial career. Did they tell you that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did your wife learn anything?
Oh, how my wife is useless, you know.
She's not useless. She knows people. She's just scared to death to put it out there. But if she'll just do what she did, she knows everybody loves your wife to death. She's the best connector in the world. Don't worry about that. Just invite me to all the Filipino parties from now on, and we will. It's over.
Remember she's having the Filipino party. Amelia's birthday is August the 4th.
The 4th of August.
So afternoon at RSI.
I'll come to the party with a bunch of
Okay.
with a bunch of distributor applications. No, I'm kidding. All right.
Yeah, I know you would.
Can you have a wife? What?
But Sandy and Joy, I thought, yeah, they were like, is Cheryl going to contact us? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. So I left a message for Sandy already. I'm going to try Joy right now. I forgot about what's her last name? Do you know?
No, I don't.
I'll see if I can find her right now on my phone. All right. I love you with all of my heart. I just wanted to tell you that.
Yeah, no. And I don't know if Sandy was working today, but yeah, no, call Joy.
It's Joy or Joyce?
Joy, like joyful.
Okay, beautiful. All right, Robert. I love you.
All right.
Bye.
I love you too.
All right. See ya.
And if they don't get back with you, let me know because I'll go beat them up.
All right. Thank you. I love you. Bye.
All right.
Okay, that's my accountant, and all he wanted to talk about was the Denise doesn't balance her checkbook. So we got away from that one. Let's go see if we can find Joy. Don't move. I handed Joy my phone. And she put her own contact info in. And she hit save before I could put her picture in it. That's not her. The problem is I've got so many Joys.
What a shame you have so much joy in your life.
Yeah, but I didn't have time. I didn't have time to map her because she. Let me check contact mapping, see if it popped over there. Don't move.
See what's the most recent one.
Unlocked. Nope. Stay with me. We're trying here. This is worth it. Stay with me. Don't hang up, you guys. I'm embarrassed that I'm such a terrible contact mapper. This might be her. If I say we met last night and she said, no, we didn't, don't be mad at me. Single, from the Philippines. Parents live in Aurora, Colorado. She lives in the basement of the Salad Master lady. They're going to the Philippines on the 23rd. They're going to come down here and shadow me.
Please leave your message for 720401813.
So- Joy, how are you ever going to get rich if you kids don't pick up your phone? I tried to call Sandy also. Give me a jingle as soon as you can. It's Tom Chenault. We met last night at Steak 10. I can't wait to talk to you. Can't stop thinking about you. All right, so we'll see if she calls back. But that's this. That's all we do all day long, you guys, is call people. Nothing can happen. They can't eat us if nobody picks up. I'm not scared of any of them. So, no, Tom, you makes you human. Da, da, da. I want to be relatable. Yeah. Yeah, good, Bar. Thank you. So we tried to, yeah, they're all traveling. Yeah, no problem. But that was my accountant. My accountant's wife swears she knows no one. But this week, she had me with those people last night for dinner with her husband. Next Monday night, she's got me for, before I go to Australia, that on the 9th, I'm doing the same thing. I'm going back down there and I'm meeting with her husband and 2 missionaries from the Philippines. That's because the wife finally gets that she could have a life with a little residual income. She still doesn't believe she knows anybody, but she's setting up all these meetings for all of us to meet. So you just never know. She does not think she's a network marketer. She doesn't want to be a network marketer. All she wants to do is turn me on to leads, which makes her a network marketer. She just hasn't figured that out yet. So anybody got anything else before we get out of here and we go do the 4th of July? No. Yes. All right, I'll do my
I have
contact.
one quick question.
Who has a question?
That's okay. This is Elizabeth.
Okay, good. What's the question?
One quick question. 2 things. One, Tom, you saved my life. I'm not kidding. You and Denise, you have no idea how desperate I was. Thank you.
Yep, fun. Good.
The one quick question is, I'm getting an echo. I'm sorry. I got to take this headset off. My upline originally, when she was first talking about 65 and Wake Up, said a 3-way call and a tool counts as the exact same thing. So it's 2 coffee shop interviews and either a tool or a 3-way call.
Yeah. So that's the pitch, especially for the first week or so that you're in. I ultimately want you searching for 3-way calls with business builders. That's my goal. And many people hid through 65 days in a Wake Up and didn't do any 3-way calls because that was the path of least resistance. I don't want any of you doing that. And several people, Pat Kendall, Lorene, Lanny, are going back through with the specific intent of doing literally 3-way calls every day. Because now they're not scared of the 2 thanks, Pamela. They're not afraid of that deep water called the interview anymore. And they're not afraid, and they're seeing what's happening with all the touches they're doing. And all of a sudden they realize that maybe they can do it. And all you do is get better. So good deal. Tell Dustin we love him. Yeah, send me Dustin's phone number. I'll call that little squirrel, that little skinny little man. I'll call him. I'll call that little skinny man Dustin. He's lost all this weight. So yeah, that's good. All right. Who else has a question before we go home? All right. Joanne, I love you. John, I love you. Anybody else? All right. I guess we'll go home. Gonna go mow the lawn, kick the lawn, get ready for the 4th of July, do all the work so Denise and Adrian don't have to do it. I do everything around everything. I have to do all the cooking, all the cleaning, everything. It's unbelievable. I don't know how come. I don't know how I do it all.
Tom?
What?
Hey, Tom, can I ask a quick question?
Who is this?
Oh, no, Jennifer Saltzman here.
Yes, ma'am.
At some point, could you actually teach us how to deal with the Philippines? Mike, you got to grab this. Could you actually teach us how to deal with the Philippines, like logistically at some point?
You know, I am learning that. And that's an unbelievable question because a week ago, I wouldn't have known. And all of a sudden, I'm getting all these calls from people that want to do business in the Philippines. I cannot believe it. And I'm so obsessed with the Philippines, having gone to Malaysia and run into those 13 Filipino women. I want to change the country. I want to change that country and show those people they don't have to go work in another country and leave their children. So I'm like, God's got me
Right.
headed to the Philippines for some crazy reason. And so I've been in contact with Liza Morales, who is the Philippine country manager. So what I've done is I've sent people to, all I do is say, if you want to build a business, I probably can't help you from here. You've got to go sit down with Lisa Morales. She'll walk you through all the processes over there. And that's how it works. And little Carol, who was under Hanny, is doing that. A guy named Gary Viterbo, I don't know if he's on this call. I added him today to 65 Days in a Wake Up. He and his wife are Filipino people. So that's what I'm doing. Yeah, crazy.
So
crazy,
do you
crazy.
enroll them? You enroll them first, Tom, before you send them off to Lisa Morales? I mean, do you get them
Always.
enrolled
Always.
always? Yes. Okay.
All
Just
you
wanted
need to
confirm.
do is enroll somebody and then have them meet their cousin Steve at the company and sign up under you. You enroll them first before they walk in the door. Sharon, is that what you
Right.
just said? You hooked up? Somebody said they hooked up with. It flashed across the board. Somebody said they did the same thing. They used Lisa Morales as a tool, and that's what you do. So yeah, Lisa Sunday. Sharon did that. Yeah, awesome. Enroll them first. Yeah. Okay, everybody.
Hey, Tom.
Yeah,
This
Who's
is
this?
Bobby Knight. This is
Bobby.
Bobby Knight. How you doing, Tom?
I love
Tom.
you on the Hair on Fire call every morning. Thank you.
Hey, that's what a squirrel do. Hey,
And
Tom, I want to ask you a question. When you say enroll the person, if they're in another country, do you just get them a preferred customer ID? When you talk about enrolling people?
No, you enroll them. You could do that, but no, you give them a distributor number. You get their tax ID for their country ID. You have them enroll in Youngevity as whatever it might be, whether it's a CEO pack or a product order or just the $25 or just a preferred customer. Take them as high up. You're dropping people off right where they want to be. If the guy's a business builder, it's silly to enroll him as a preferred customer. If the guy is a customer about to try the product, it's silly to enroll him as a CEO. So it all depends on the human being across the table, Bobby.
Okay, so it's different countries. You have different levels that you can enroll them in. I mean, in
No.
different countries, countries, Tom.
No, it's the same thing all across all countries. So you need to, if you're trying to do that, just call Lisa Morales or email her, or Mike Brosnan, who's the country manager's boss, or Luke Tafuri, who's the country manager boss of Mike Brosnan. Get somebody to help you walk it through, doing the best thing, but make sure you've got that person in the system so you don't lose them to somebody else down there.
Okay, does that include like Mexico too? Even if you don't know anyone, how do you do that? If you had someone in Mexico, do you have to do the same thing?
Do the same thing. Enroll them first.
Okay, thank you.
And then you plug in with the country manager. Susanna's the one that's in charge of Mexico. Yeah. Use the people. That's the key. Anybody else? Okay, yeah. How do you answer someone who was burned by a previous company? That's really simple. You ask them if they married the first guy they ever dated. They're going to say no. Okay, good. What happened then? Well, I dated him and then we broke up. And then you said, well, that's great. Do you still go out or not? And you say, yeah, of course I did. You ever had a lousy meal at a restaurant? Yeah, well, how many times did you do that? The last thing on that, I would say, Kelsey Britton, is that person is a perfect candidate for a three-way call with me or your dad, because your dad's going to be able to easily say, you know what, I felt the same way. I was in a company that didn't do so well. I did this, I did that, and now I found this Youngevity. They're in the business for the long haul. They're publicly traded, but controlled by a family. They're never going anywhere. This is your last stop. And I'm sorry that you got burned by the previous company. You need to talk to Tom Chenault, or you need to talk to Corey Gold, or you need to talk to Alex Ticey, or you need to talk to. Yeah, good, Elizabeth, tremendous. Yeah. All right, beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Have a happy 4th of July, everybody. Let's get the heck out of here before the 4th of July gets here. I think I'm going to do the Hair on Fire call tomorrow morning. So if anybody wants to be on it, I think I'm going to do it just because I have no life. So, yep, that's what we're doing. So everybody have the most unbelievable, Lanny, you're beautiful. I know you're only 50 years old and I love you. Everybody have a beautiful, 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 beautiful 4th of July. Let's get out of here. Thanks, Pamela.
Thank you, Tom.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Happy
God bless
4th of July.
Appreciate
Love
it.
you all. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Tom.
Happy 4th, everybody. Have a
Thank you,
great one.
Tom.
Thanks, Tom.
Hear you in the morning.